Alright guys, so on the way to the office right now, and today we actually have a special guest coming to the office to do a podcast with me. This is actually someone that, used to be my student back in the days when I first started my program. And man, this kid was just a 16-year-old dude who wanted to start doing email marketing. Now, this guy is a millionaire with emails and has one of the biggest following when it comes to email marketing. I'm just so proud of this guy. But yeah, guys, I've been wanting to do this podcast for a while. I'm so glad we finally got to get it done. So yeah, let's go check Umar out right now. Man, when I first met this dude, he was just a 16-year-old kid. We used to play 2K together. Now look at him. He's playing GTA in real life. What's up? Hey, man. Beautiful car, man. It's a beautiful car, man.
Shit, it's your first time seeing it.
It is my first time seeing this car, man. This is the color is really nice. I really like it. Why the R8?
It's a V10. What else?
One of the first guys to make sure I don't hear the end of owning a Tesla right here. This guy right here, Mr. V10.
Listen. Let me grab this shit.
All right.
Don't buy a Tesla. If you have something in between your legs, don't buy a Tesla.
My car's right there. Oh man, shit, bro, this is beautiful, bro. I think this is a car you've always wanted, and I'm so proud of you that you finally got it. Yo, let's take it for a spin, man. I would love to, see the power of this car, man. Let's get it. I'm with my great friend Umar here today, and I wanted to bring him on, man. We've been wanting to do this video for so long.
Yeah.
And just talk about his story, his journey. I want to talk a little bit of business, but I think mainly just kind of focus on the story side. I know in his Twitter you see him talk about emails on his socials, you see him talk about his marketing, but I don't think he's actually really shared his story with you guys. There's a lot of things about him I feel like that I want to kind of share to the world outside of just the business, the cars, and the emails, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to bring him on. And I'm so glad we're finally able to make this video. But for the people watching, man, that I guess don't know you, maybe just, are getting to know you, tell them a little bit more about yourself, man. That'll be amazing to start with there.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Splash mentioned, I'm going to always call him Splash because this is my first ever, I guess you'd say, podcast that I've done. And I've always really wanted to do my first one with you.
That's
because
awesome.
You're the first person that basically introduced me into this world, right? And a lot of the times people, they grow up, they grow into a certain point in business, but then they lose the fact of where they came from. For me, I'm a very humble guy in the sense that I'll always respect the person that taught me. Even before Splash, shout out Jordan, right? There's always people.
There's so many guys.
There's so many people that led to this point where I'm at this today. And to give you guys some context, of course, my name's Umar. I'm 21 years old now. I run a retention agency as well as I do a consulting agency on the side as well too. So it's really been built out into something beautiful now, right? Where it used to be, I send emails, I used to be
Literally.
a freelancer. Now we have a team of approaching 21 people. There's a lot of ups and downs leading into that. And now I'm just honestly at a super peaceful place where I'm able to work maybe 3-4 hours per day, come out, do stuff like this on a Thursday afternoon. And yeah, it's not something that took overnight. It's not something that took even a year or two. It definitely took a few years, but nevertheless, I'm excited to share
100%.
the things that I've learned and the things that brought me to this point.
100%. And quickly on the point that you said, and that's something I always stay aligned with, because there's so many people, even if let's say I might not stay in touch with or whatever, there's so many people that helped me in the start, and I'll never forget them. I'll make sure to never switch sides if there was anything to happen as well. And I want to say the same to you, is because, well, you know this better than anyone, there's also the alternative side of things that we've seen, when let's say people that I've helped or personally actually mentored, kind of show a level of ungratitude.
Right.
So I do appreciate you always showing me love. I'm not really the type of person to always ask give me credit where it's due. I don't really care for that, but I think I don't like when it's the other way around, where I feel like I fully got taken advantage of. So I really always just respect guys like Umar who've reached a certain height but still maintain that humility, honestly be the same person that I met when you were just still 16. You know what I'm saying? We're still the same person. We still talk the same way. I don't treat you differently, you don't treat me differently, and I think that's a huge thing that I want to quickly make a point on, before we even move on. But yeah, I mean, straight up talking about that, man, I know you quickly mentioned Jordan, shout out Jordan right there, but kind of talk about, getting your start and getting your first experience and even getting exposed to this whole online world. And actually, quickly, a caveat on that. I know we're probably going to bring up your brother in this conversation. So maybe wait for that on the next question, because I do have a question about your brother on the next one. So maybe kind of just first let's talk about your current experience. Or actually, honestly, it might even make sense to start with your brother, because I think I think that is such a huge factor in your life. So maybe just even start with that.
No, absolutely, yeah. And always give credit where it's due. Like if you're in a state of your business where you can't give someone else that's helped you out credit, you're probably not in a business where you're the authority, or where you have something to lose, you have something to worry about, right? And that comes from within. A lot of people are self-conscious about that, right? But for me, I've always given people respect where it's due, right? And obviously my brother, right? Like how much more can you be of an authority? Because a lot of the times people, you look at the space now, you guys have like Andrew and Tristan, even the Ohanu brothers, those guys are crushing it, those guys are blowing up and stuff, right? But now like the way that brothers are, it's sort of transitioning. Even a lot of my like top tier clients, they're brothers, like they're brothers in business. Yeah, it's insane, and it's crazy to see, because I don't know about you anyways, but there's a lot of hatred, especially within like brown communities, with their families, where
internal
families, they wanna one up each other, right? For me and my brother, we have that competitiveness, right? But we're always gonna know, hey, listen, when you need help, I will help you. When I need help, you're gonna help me, right? 100%. And that doesn't matter if you're older than him, younger. Doesn't matter if you're more knowledgeable. It does not matter, right? Because you have a moral obligation, especially if your blood brother, your own blood, has helped you out with something. It's your moral obligation to help them out. So of course, always, and I give love to him all the time, even though it doesn't help him because he doesn't have an agency, he doesn't have a personal brand, he doesn't care, right?
He hates that we're doing this.
He doesn't care for any of that stuff, right? But I always give that respect, because guess what? There's probably going to be someone that's watching it, right? That has a brother, that has helped their brothers, that has helped their sisters, that has helped whoever it is in their family. And they don't even realize it in that sense, right? So 100%, my brother's been a huge part of my life. He, to give you a bit of context on him, he's been in the e-com space since about 2016, 2017. Had to start with Amazon. Didn't work out for him. Then he ran into a bunch of issues with drop shipping, right? This guy was probably 16, 17 at the time. For me, I started then as well too. Yeah. Low barrier of entry with emails and agency and everything like that. I didn't need to have money. For him, he racked up close to 10, 15K worth of close to, I don't even want to say debt, because he made it work, right? But to have that much negative from the start, at that age, bro.
In a brown family?
Scary. But guess what? To be that down at that young of an age, for me, I didn't have to worry about that, because for me, I didn't have to put any spend to get clients. It was just me hustling, right? But for him, he literally changed the trajectory of our family. And I love saying that. I love saying that, because he really did, right? And whether you have someone like that or you don't, if you don't have someone like that, you be the guy to make that change, right? If you're even watching stuff like this, if you're in the space, if you understand these things, right, then educate yourself, especially if you're young and you have the time, right? 100%. When I was 16, 17, bro, I was doing nothing. I didn't have a job. I was flipping stuff on the side, and it just so happened that I had a brother that was in the space, and I took that interest in it. And, alhamdulillah, it's turned into this today.
That's amazing.
And he has his businesses, I have mine. I use money when he uses my money when he needs it. I use his money when he needs it. It's a beautiful relationship, right? It's something that you can't replicate with anyone else. And absolutely, yeah.
So that's actually, like, it's funny, because I think even your email marketing start, if I remember correctly, your brother paid for the program. If I remember correctly, your brother paid for the program, and then you were the one that actually went through it, and we built a relationship.
Absolutely.
But I remember just you being, I remember Mustafa hitting me up saying, "Can my brother go through this?" I remember that. Yes.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying, shout out to your brother, bro, because again, to do that, to lead, it's easier said than done, because I think, like, for me, let's say on my side, I feel like I was that to a lot of people in my circle. And like when I look back at it, I'm like, yo, like, I was just moving with uncertainty, with like zero foresight of what's gonna happen. I didn't know whatever we have now was our future. It was really just a blind kid, just filled with hope, just trying to make something happen. You know what I mean? So it's just amazing to see, and shout out to your brother for doing that and leading that way for your family, man. That's just really, really amazing to hear.
Of course.
I guess let's talk about there then. Like, what led you to that point when you were trying all these things, flipping all that, where okay, you're like, all right, you know, I'm gonna try this email thing, you know, because I'm pretty sure I think you tried a bunch of other stuff, but it didn't fully work out. I want you to kind of expand on that.
Yeah, so for me, naturally, a lot of times people say, oh, I started my journey at 13, 12, whatever and stuff. No, for me, like, I had a very huge point where I wanted to enjoy my childhood, where I wanted to enjoy things up until I got to the age of 15, 16, where I realized I can still enjoy the things I want to do while doing stuff on the side, right? So that's where the idea of flipping came into play. I would be flipping and reselling designer things, right? Because I realized, hey, that's something that there's a demand for, especially in my school, right? So I started doing that, right? I made a few thousand from that, and then ultimately I pivoted over something that could be more online, something that I could sell to everyone. Because listen, people aren't going to be buying designer stuff when I can't ship it to them, I can't do anything like that to them, right? So that's where I get into the realm of agency stuff. I bought a SMMA course. I bought it. It didn't work. Like the value in there was borderline ChatGPT bullshit before ChatGPT was a thing.
That's funny,
right? And one thing that you guys will realize today, people sell courses, and it's the most useless information ever. I think in this day and age as well too, never buy a course. Never ever buy a course. Don't spend your last dollar on a course, because a course isn't going to help you. A mentor will. Someone that's in the space will, right? So it took me two tries for me to realize that. I bought that course, it didn't work. I bought another course, didn't work, right? And then eventually I stumbled across a whole content agency. One guy that I was pretty close with, and my brother could vouch for as well too. His name was Jordan Nazario, right? He's still around in the space. But
shout out Jordan, man, good friend of mine, known for a while.
And turns out he was a good friend of his as well too, right? And that's where I really got my first start. That's where I realized, hey, if I have a service and I could sell it to someone and I make the money, they will pay me a percentage of that service.
Yes,
they will 100% pay me that, because it'll be a disservice for them if I don't do that service.
100%.
Right? So that's where I realized, hey, let me do this. I went into dentist offices, chiropractors, and that's where I started making my first few thousand per month at 16 years old, right? And it did really good until COVID hit, right? And I love COVID because it gave me the clarity that no matter how good you're doing, there's always going to be a better way, a way for you to expand more, for you to generate more revenue and sell to someone on a different part of the world, a different area of the world, right? So email marketing was my first start, where I could sell something where you're in Australia and I'm in Canada, and I could sell you service and you can pay me 5-10 grand, right? And nevertheless, that's the transition from 15 to 18 or 17, where I sort of realized, hey, you know what? I can sell a service to anyone in the world. As long as I make the money, they will pay me a percentage of that money. And it's as simple
because you're not
as
a scammer. At the end of the day, I think quick little point on that little thing that you just said, as long as I make the money. Because a lot of people get in this game just to make money. And then I think we talked about it yesterday as well. Get a client, forget about it, boom. I know you're not like this. I know I'm not like this, where if someone gives me money, bro, I couldn't sleep at night if I know I am not giving them their money's worth. You know what I mean? And I think that's a huge point to like just think of. And something that I respect about you is that like we genuinely, the people that we sign, if you ever pay me for anything, I gotta make sure I like give you value. Otherwise, I literally couldn't sleep at night.
Yeah. And I'll 100% vouch for that, because bro, this guy we would play 2K together. We would go play basketball together. This guy would take time out of his day when he had a business, a legitimate business, before I didn't have a business, right? And he would make sure, even though I only paid him, bro, $1,000 for a course, in a mentorship in this day and age, where probably with inflation it's probably like $3,000, $4,000, right?
For sure, bro.
For someone to do that, right, especially in your own city, like I was genuinely truly blessed to have that. And now, even now, 4 or 5 years later, we still have that relationship. We're still able to chill, we're still able to talk and everything like that.
We do things outside of just business, emails, you know, we know each other's family. He's been to my house, he was there when I bought my house, he was, you know what I'm saying, like he was there when I lived downtown. I was there for, you know, for a lot of his different milestones as well. It's like it has become bigger than just like, oh yeah, like a mentor mentees. Like we literally, like you said, is like all those times it didn't even, I mean, bro, honestly, after like the first couple of months, I think it wasn't even like a mentee. It was just like we became friends, bro, because literally we played games together. When I came back, we'd go play basketball, we'd hang out, me, you, Aiden, we'll go to dinners together, right? Where it's like, and for me, I think like that's, and you've noticed this with a lot of people in our community, is like, I kind of have that relationship with a lot, as long as they stick to it, and I think as long as like they show me that they're dedicated, bro, like I it's not for me, it's like, oh no, you didn't pay me, I can't help you, no, you can't get access. I've never been that guy, because like genuinely I do want to help people, you know?
And one thing that I'll say as well too, and this is bringing back to the first thing I said earlier in this video, right? I have an agency. He also has an agency, right? for me, saying all these things, right, this could potentially harm my agency if I had that worry, right? But the reason I don't worry about that is because I know what I'm doing doesn't coincide with the things he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And as long as you're friends with people that have different interests and different ideas and different futures, right, then you're good, right? It's not like the exact same stuff that I'm posting that I'm saying he's bar for bar replicating. No.
If anything, he's telling me to do more of it. Yeah.
If anything, we're able to bounce off of each other, and you're able to grow more by doing that. Why else do you think major multi-million-dollar companies, some of my clients are friends with each other, right? Would there not be a conflict of interest by them being friends with the same agency? Of course there would be, right? But at the end of the day, they have that trust that, hey, listen, this person's going to help me out. I'm going to help them out, right? And that comes back to brotherhood as well too, right? Even if you don't have a blood brother, you can have people outside of that as well too. You can have people that you can call your brothers, that you can work together, right? You don't have to be working on the same business. You don't have to even be in the same city. You just have to have that mutual respect for one another, that, hey, listen, when you need it, I'm there. When I need it, you're there.
No, 100%. That's so important. I'm very grateful that I think in our community, the circle that we built up, in Toronto, especially with a lot of people in the email space, is that we have that where, like, Umar can come to me and just like keep it real with me. I can go to Umar, keep it real with them. Same way, vice versa, where it's like, one, there's no weird animosity between each other because we all think in abundance. We understand that, like, there's enough for all of us. I would be stupid to think that I could handle all the e-commerce brands in the world. Same with Umar, right? And realistically, a lot of people, if you just even had 10 quality brands, you're making more than 90% of the people in the world, right? So, like, we've always thought that way, and I think that's why also a lot of the people in our circle have been able to grow, is because we genuinely work off of each other, Like, I'm going to an event, come through. Hey, yo, we have this come through, you should come through. Hey, I'm doing this, this is working for me, So I think that's a huge thing. Speaking on that, actually, not on that, something similar, I guess, in our journey, because Lord knows I've gone through it too many times, but I know you've kind of had little moments of this. Is like, I want to talk about distractions. Right? Because, like I said, guys, like, you've probably seen it too, like, there just was a period of time where I was just really not focused, so I just was like bouncing out of different little things, just getting distracted, literally shiny object syndrome, and I know you've had that in your own way. I would love for us to kind of touch on this, because I think we all know, bro, like, even right now with a lot of the people I'm mentoring, a lot of times I just have to tell them, yo, shut up and just focus on this, So can we let's touch on that, talk about some of your experience, maybe even some losses, to like just make the point that, yo, stick to one thing,
Right, absolutely, yeah. And it's funny that you brought that up, because even the other day when I was on a call with one of my close friends, and he's also one of my clients as well too. A lot of my clients, they're like, I'm really close with. I just went to my friend's wedding in Atlanta, and we've been working together for the past 2 years. We started working together, and now I just went to his wedding, right? And I'll probably be there when he has his first kid. Like, that's the extent where, when I first started working with people, that's how far I saw out, right? I knew that I was going to be working with these guys for such a long time, right? So I couldn't be distracted with these other things. So far, to the point where even one of my clients, we've been working together for 4 years, right? It's been 4 years, literally hand in hand, still working together, right? And they literally make jokes about it. They're like, yo, Umar is the master of singular focus. Like, he has not let up. I don't know how you haven't gotten burnt. I don't know how you haven't done it. And the whole thing is knowing your limits, right? If you're 100% convicted that in 4 or 5 years time you're gonna be a millionaire, you're gonna have all the things you want, you're gonna drive the car you want, right? And you set aside steps year by year to get to those goals. Every single year on my birthday, I record a 2-minute video of talking about my progression of this past year and what I'm going to be doing next year. And like, Splash, let me tell you, every single year I've nailed it, spot on. Maybe a few accolades above what I mentioned, but I always hit it spot on, right? And that comes down to having realistic goals, right? I think a lot of times people get distracted because they don't aim for realistic goals, right? People are 16, 17 years old and be like, hey, I want to have an 8-figure network by 18. You're not. Like, very realistically, you're not going to have that, right? And if you're chasing a dollar amount or a net worth, or some people really obsess over net worth or some shit, it's bullshit. Because I'll tell you right now, all you need is 100, 200 grand worth of spending money per year for you to live a beautiful life. A beautiful life. Even less than that. It just depends, bro.
Divide that by 15 and go live in Thailand, and you're literally on 10% of what he just said. You're living a life.
You're living a life, right?
So it's not about how much you make, man. It's not about the money thing.
People have a huge notion where they need to be a millionaire to live like a super successful life, right? It's not, bro. As soon as I started doing 10K a month, I was living a life with ease where I could go out, I could eat whatever food I want, I could drive whatever car I want, I can take care of my family.
Your life is actually not much different. If anything, it's just upgraded of what you were just already doing. You still always loved cars.
Yep.
You still always hung out with your friends. You still, whatever, traveled when you had your thing, Dubai. You're just now, things are maybe, before it was the Acura, now it's a R8, right?
Yeah.
Before it was we would just have to go eat somewhere, now we can go eat. And like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you are 100% right, man. And then I think on the figure itself, it's like a stigma because a lot of you guys could just go to India and convert your dollars. You're a millionaire, you know, if you really wanted to like be on some weird shit like that. But even quickly to touch on that point, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I really thought about this because you're right. The reason I was distracted is because I didn't have clarity and I guess like lacking a purpose for something that I know I want to work towards long term, right? And then that's why you get distracted. That's why you think you want to do all this, that, whatever. But then when I really genuinely just came back to like center, like, I don't know why I was chasing all this, where like what really gives me happiness is the simplest things. Like I think I shared it in my video once, like when I was in Ibiza, you know, there was a one day, bro, where I literally, all my boys were outside just talking. Mm-hmm. I put on my AirPods, put on a Dana White podcast, and I cooked for 2 hours. Yeah. And you couldn't tell me I wasn't peaking at life. Like that to me was like 100 out of 100 of like what life is. And I remember at that moment, I just said to myself, I'm like, bro, life is so simple.
Right.
Why am I overcomplicating it?
Yep.
Like, bro, like that cooking, like I had, fuck what I was wearing. Like, you know, like screw what I was like, you know, like doing. It's like, bro, that, like, you know, and like you said, man, it's like, for me, I have to go through a lot of these experiences to gain this clarity, but do it sooner than later where you genuinely sit down and just ask yourself, right? It's like, yo, what does success look like for me? Because otherwise, you're going to end up being like me when in my 20s thinking I wanted Lambos. When like whenever I ever like I talk cars, you know it'd be very like out of pocket of me to like out of nowhere just buy a Lamborghini if I had the means to, right? Because like it would be out of like because you'd be like when did you ever, you know what I'm saying?
It would be more on point for you to say screw it, you know what, let me go to Lake Como for this. To that in terms of the distractions, right? When people have these distractions, a lot of them, it stems from monetary value, but it also comes from lack of discipline from within themselves. It has nothing to do with business, right? Because a lot of times people will have some sort of compensation issues where they need to go to the club. They made 10K in a month. They need to go to a club and show people that they're worth something, right? Or they need to finance that 10K, that Lambo when they're making 10K a month and it's 3-4 grand per month. That's half your entire month's salary on a car that you don't care about, right? There's been times where you will see people, right? And they don't even know the spec of their car. They don't even know what engine they're driving, right? But it just goes to show that they don't give a shit about that.
They don't care.
They'll have a watch on, right? They don't know what the watch is. Like they'll it's an AP. What type of AP? Oh, it's like a blue face, you know? Like,
Blueface, yeah. Two-tone Blueface, come on, bro.
Blueface,
the one
right?
that Offset talks about.
And that's where social media is like ruin your perception of things,
100%.
right? So before you go into business, before you have the aim of making a shit ton of money, right? You need to realize what you actually want, right? Before, and I remember telling you this, and this is why I love Splash, because before he even works with someone or tells them to make this much money or do this or get this client, right? He fixes their mindset. I remember your second module inside your thing was all about mindset.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If someone gave you $1 million right now, and you have a gambling personality.
Oh yeah.
You will lose that money, right? But say before you get that $1 million, you fix your mindset, you don't have some sort of gambling personality, right? Then guess what? You'll probably be able to retain that money, do good with that money, educate other people with that money, and do really good with that money, right? So it's all about your mindset before you do anything, right?
It's 100%. And even with a lot of talented business owners that I work with now, you know, before, like with beginners, it's different because you can tell them anything mindset related, it's going to blow their mind, right? But even at this level, when I'm working with business owners that have already gone through all this mindset stuff, you realize it does come back to mindset. More times, bro, we're talking less strategies. I'm talking more like how they think about things. Like a lot of my clients were able to scale not because they got this new lead gen strategy, whatever. Sure, that helps, bro. But what changed is them realizing, oh my God, no, I am a valuable asset to a business. Okay, I am worth this much. No, I'm not going to tolerate this behavior. No, I'm not going to tolerate only getting paid this much. I'm not going to tolerate, you know, them talking to me like this, right? It's like, these are the things that make the real difference, right? The strategies change every week. You already know this. They change every week, but like you said, bro, that mindset still to this day, I realize like that's where a lot of people need help still.
Right, absolutely. And just touching into that, like when you go and become an authority, or you plan on becoming an authority, right? A lot of people think, oh, I need to do something that has never been done before. I need to focus on a niche. I need to be doing need to be doing Facebook ads for only shoe brands or only for fucking pet companies, only a hyper specific thing, right? And now the issue with doing that is you're already limited, or you're setting yourself up for failure, right?
100%.
You're doing something where there's no reason for you to be doing that. You're doing something to limit yourself for no reason. When in reality, you can go into that business, you can go as broad as possible, and then figure out what you're good at, and then try to apply that same belief or that same strategy or whatever it is across the entire
100%.
business, right? And just don't stay distracted, right?
Yeah,
just stick to that one thing. As long as you have that linear focus. For me, when I was 16 years old, I wanted to make 20K a month because I realized, hey, listen, this is what I needed to do. 5K would go to my parents, whatever it is. 10K a month, I can easily spend that. I could get 2K on a lease, or I could buy a car because I'm really good with my spending and saving, right? I can go to whatever restaurant I want. I don't do clubs. I don't do bottles. I don't drink. I've never touched a drop of alcohol in my life. I'm Muslim. I'm a very devout Muslim, and I love saying that and claiming that because I aim to pray 5 times a day. I aim to do all those things. I like going to play golf. I like going and hanging out with my friends and doing odd shit at times, going axe throwing, travel every so often. But you know me, like I'll travel maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I won't travel unless it's necessary, right? Because I love what I built here. I have a family. I have a fiance. I have a business circle. I have all the people that I love in this one place, right? And a lot of times people move from their hometown, and I see this a lot. Where do they go?
Miami, oh bro,
Miami, Dubai, LA, and everything. And to me, it's sort of like, hey, what have you built? Have you built it for yourself, or did you build it for your family? A lot of people like to claim, oh, I give money back to my parents. Your parents would appreciate you more if you gave them $2,000 and you hand it to them in person than you wiring them 20K a month.
That's facts.
Without you even showing face to them for 6 months.
Facts. Wow.
Right? And you bought your parents a house, right? You never flex that. You never push that. Why? Because it's something that's within you and your family. It's something.
To the point on that, I remember when I hired a ghostwriter, and most of the tweets he had wrote for me was about the house. I'm like, bro, what are you trying to do here? Like, are you trying to like make me like look like some sort of bum, or like that? Just like you said, bro. It's like it's just aligned with who we are. It's just what we do. It's not a marketing material in a way.
It comes back to compensation, right?
Yeah.
Those are the people that are compensating. Like, oh, I do a lot for my family. Oh, I gave this to my mom and dad and stuff. When, bro, they're the ones that raised you for 18 years.
Yeah.
They're the ones that gave you your
100%.
laptop for you to start, right? So before you get into any sort of ideology of, oh, I need to be a millionaire. I need to make a lot of money.
I moved to Miami. You see that on Twitter all the time, bro. Boys grinding to share a 2-bedroom apartment to pay $5,000 to live in bro. Miami's good to visit, man, but to live, I mean, no, if you could live there, more power to you. But I would say something to your point, man. Like, this is such a great point because you know what? I was in this mindset, right? Because taxes, all this, and especially in Toronto now, man, you can't go a day without someone complaining about Toronto, right? Yeah. On that note too, I remember Brandon Carter telling me, he's like, yo, if you just think that way, the world's just gonna prove it to you. So if Toronto shits because you believe that, and the world's literally just showing you. Quick little side note on that, right? But I remember Dylan saying something, our good friend Dylan, he said, okay, let's say I move to Dubai. All right, I save on taxes. Like, so am I gonna, like, now I have to, can I, like, am I gonna bring my friends here? Like, my family? I can't.
Am I gonna move my entire family?
Yeah.
I'm gonna move my entire life here just to save what?
Just to save money? Like at the end of the day, like, yo, why do you do this, right? It's for freedom, not to be a slave. It's like, it's funny because, like, I know I would agree with this. Maybe, I don't know if you've had your moments, but it's like, you do this for freedom, but then you start doing things to enslave yourself, whether that be lifestyle enslavement, right? Or habit enslavement. Like you said, right? Like, you have a lot of money, a bad habit, bro, that's it's gonna treat you like it's gonna make you a slave, right? So it's like, your point is so true, bro. If you just build, and I think that's the change I've made in the last whatever, is like, I actually love Toronto. Like, I remember the Spain and Miami trip were pre-planned, but I literally said, like, I didn't want to go. Like, I loved just staying here, working. I love, like, the routine I have here, going to the gym, the friends that I have, we have events here and there. It's like, I love it, man, and that's what I love doing.
And to touch on that, the reason you love it so much, because you came here, you were raised here, you lived here, and that's what it is. For you, you might live in Arizona, you might live in Nepal, you might live in Pakistan, you might live anywhere in the world, right? It doesn't matter where you're from. But the main thing is your family's there, your life is there, everything's set up there, right? So now if you're making money for your family, right? I want you to understand this. This is a cycle, right? You make money, as you say, for the sake of your family, because you want to take them out of whatever situation that they're in, right? Assume that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you want to make it for whatever selfless reason, not selfish, right? Of course, because everyone wants to be selfless, right?
Right.
Why are you now doing things for the same thing to get that money back, to
Literally.
go ahead and screw yourself over and go away from those very things that you set out in the first place to do, right? Once again, this doesn't apply to anyone where if you're, 17, 18 years old,
Yeah.
you want to go there, you want to abandon your family. Hey, listen, if you have no morals for your family, or your family, some people, they've actually grew up in really terrible situations.
That is true.
Where they don't want to, that's the only
that is
exception,
true
right?
too.
So if you are in that situation, by all means, go for it. But I'd say from all my experience, 90% of the times people do this stuff is for other people.
100%.
So they can start doing it.
100%.
But then it always comes back to bite them because they realize it comes to a point, they're like, damn, I'm not doing this for them anymore.
It's back to what we said earlier about social media.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? Why Miami?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Why
they can show it off.
why Miami, right? Why Dubai, right? So it's like it's exactly like you said, social media. It's not that Miami is aligned with their values and their future goals and priorities. No. It's because everyone else is there. Oh, this entrepreneur is there. This guy's there networking. And then, quick touch on networking, man. Is like I've always said, just focus on yourself. Networking is second nature. I know you can agree with this. Is like if you actually if you try to chase a rabbit, bro, it's just gonna run away from you.
Yeah.
Right? But if what I'm saying, just make a garden, let the rabbits come, eat the flowers, and
That's fine. That's
you know
a
what I'm saying? So focus on building a garden rather than chasing. You know what I'm saying? I would say something like that too on the networking side of things. I wanted to make sure we touch on this because I know it's important. I want to kind of frame this in a way from what we talked about as well. Like you said, right? If some people were to get $1 million, if they don't have the right mindset, values, beliefs, habits, they're going to lose it all. And I think one of the things that you told me was that you actually became more religious after you got successful, and then that is what kept you clear, that's what kept you on purpose, that's what make sure you didn't sway away, you didn't act out of character, and I always respected that about you because you actually live this. I've seen it, I've known you forever, you actually live this, and you're one of the only guys that actually talks about it and is willing to talk about it, because I know some people feel that, but they want to stay quiet because they don't want to step on toes, they don't want to really put themselves out there. So please, actually, you really just touch on the importance of religion in your life, and not just the life, bro, but like business, and like how it's honestly kept you on track for having that, you know what I'm saying?
Right. For me, obviously, of course, I'm Muslim. I was lucky enough to be born Muslim, right? Everyone has their religious beliefs, and I respect that as long as they have 100% conviction in it. Right? If you're lost, if you're looking for guidance and everything like that, that's why I tell you, explore other options. Find something that you're comfortable with, right? For me, it's Islam. For me, I was born on it. I was raised on it, but I didn't follow it until I got to a point where I was inside my early adolescence. Maybe I was 14, 15, when I got into high school, where I wasn't really taking it seriously, where I should have been taking it seriously. Because in Islam, when you're young, when you don't know and stuff, it's a write-off. You're living free. You don't have to worry about things. It's so much to the point, I don't know what age it is, but I believe it's right before puberty. If you were to pass away, it's a straight ticket to heaven. You go straight to heaven with no sort of questions asked to you. Go straight to it because you're innocent. You had no knowledge of the world, right? But now as you get older and you realize how society is, how the world works and stuff, how really a lot of things are out in this world to harm you. Like it's set up you are set up for failure in this world if you have no sort of guidelines, if you have no sort of thing holding you back, right? Wow. So for me, when I realized that, I was like, hey, listen, okay, I had a few questions, right? Okay, how come we can't drink? How come we can't do things that alter our state of mind and stuff? Well, okay, why would you want to do that? Does it benefit you? Oh yeah, it gives you a better feeling and stuff like that. Okay, but why can't you just go inside your supercar and drive and enjoy it, or maybe go skiing or have fun with your friends and stuff, or go horseback riding, right? All these different things, right? Long story short, you're able to get the same sort of feeling, dopamine rush, everything from things that aren't going to have negative side effects.
That's not going to destroy you.
It's not going to destroy you,
and
right?
Actually, I would say it's like fake dopamine versus real dopamine, right? All the shit you're talking about, fake.
Yeah.
God, religious, family, purpose, that's real.
Real.
It's it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling to find the word here, but it's more real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for me, when I was young and I sort of realized, hey, I'm starting to make money, things can go really sideways, right? Things can go really south really fast, right? I was making so much to the point where I was in high school and I considered about dropping out. I'm like, yo, I'm making money, like I can just leave my parents and everything like that, right? And in that very moment, that's where I grabbed onto myself and I said, hey, listen, That's
Right.
not you. You can't do that
You
because
can't.
that's abandoning your family. That's going against what you believe as a Muslim, right? And that's what strained me even more. So much to the point where I started studying my religion. A lot of times people are born into it, they never study
They
it.
have never. They don't know
They
anything
don't
about
know what
it.
it is. They know the words. They
Trust
don't know
me.
the meanings,
Trust
right?
me. I know that.
Right. So, and there a lot of times, and it hurts for me to say this, but like I've met a lot of people where they're Muslim by name, right? Where you've even met those people
Trust
as
me.
well
Trust
too.
me, man.
So much to the point where when he first met me, right, he was like, "Oh, you guys actually don't do this? Like I know a bunch of people that actually do this and stuff, but they're chilling,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah, yeah. No, I was telling him, bro.
So
like,
far to the point where now the image of the religion has now been misunderstood by people outside of it, right? So if you call yourself, for me obviously I'm Muslim. If you call yourself a Muslim, if you call yourself a Christian, if you call yourself whatever and stuff, really embody that.
align with it, man.
Align with it. Try to be as much as possible. If you don't, then don't call yourself it. You know, because you don't follow the values, right? You don't follow the 5 pillars. You don't follow those things, right? So for me, I try to be as close as possible to it. And guess what? That reflects in business 1,000%. I've never taken anyone's money wrongfully. If anyone's ever claimed that I took their money wrongfully, I send it back.
Straight
you know,
up.
it's as simple as that. Because
Straight
guess
up.
what? When I go to sleep, I'm gonna be thinking, shit, did I take their money? Even if I didn't, did I take their money wrongfully? No. It'll
Yeah.
pain you, right? It'll be that voice in the back of your head that's telling you, hey, listen, maybe you did do wrong by it, right? And don't upset your religion. Don't upset your
Wow.
Lord. Don't upset the image of your religion. So much to the point where I
Wow.
know people. They've done good business stuff. People haven't been happy, and they're like, "I've worked with Muslims before. I've worked with these guys before and stuff, right? I don't want to work with them again, right?" Jews have that.
Wow.
Jewish people, they have that negative connotation towards them and stuff. But look at Dylan, bro. Greatest guy that I've ever met. Greatest, most nicest guy. Greatest person in business, right? One of my other business partners, Adam, right? Greatest
Yeah,
guy.
you
Bro,
can't just
there's been
stereotype.
times,
Come on, man.
there's been times where like there's been many instances where people could have screwed me over because of I've heard negative connotations about them whether it be race, whatever it is. But guess what? They really embody the type of people that they are, and that's all that matters, right?
100%.
So
finish what you're saying. Finish your point. Sorry.
so it all it comes back to, if you're gonna say you're something, right? If you say you're honest, if you say you're a good person, if you say you're looking out for your family, if you say you're religious, embody that. Truly embody what you say you are, or else what are you? You're a hypocrite.
Yeah. Stay consistent, man. If you want to be like Umar, be the Muslim guy, stay consistent. If you want to be drinking, you want to party, stay consistent. But I think where I get thrown off and where we lose respect is where you are someone for a face, and like he was saying, is like, yeah, trust. I've met people that will think they're good people because they go to the mosque, they go to the church, they pray. But in real life, their actions are hurting people. So it's like, how can you, it doesn't align with that, right? And quickly on his story, man, like I don't think I've ever shared the story publicly, but Artie Sershin,
Yeah.
you know him because you've done a
Of
podcast
course,
with him, a little thing with him as well. In 2018, he inquired to work with me on emails, and I charged him $3,000. And this was the time when I was like done being a freelancer and I started hiring my first people. And you gotta understand, I'm an 18-year-old kid with that had never seen money, like trying to figure this thing out. So I hired some girl that wasn't the most skilled, and I had her do the emails for Ari. And to be honest, man, like you can only imagine, like it wasn't the best quality work. Like, yeah, whatever, it got some results. And what's crazy is that I remember Ari never said anything about it. I remember I think he had unfollowed everyone except for like 30 people still followed me. But you know what's crazy, bro? From that time, bro, when I knew I didn't do the best job for him, I couldn't look. Every time his thing popped up on my story, I couldn't look at it. I would feel guilty. Anytime his show up, I would have this feeling. To a point, bro, in 2020, 2 years later, I literally sent Ari a voice note saying, yo, bro, I know I didn't do the best job in 2018. Send me your PayPal. I need to send you your money back. And you can ask him, I sent him his money back.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted that mental, I never wanted this feeling, like, I never wanted to have this feeling come up whenever I see this guy. This guy, I'm gonna see him all the time. He's one of the biggest e-com YouTubers, right? And if I ever meet him in person, I never want to have that weird energy.
Yeah.
I want to know that, yo, look, I did, like what we were saying, right? It's like when we sign clients, we're trying to avoid this feeling that I told you I went through. And I was, and thank God I was able to pay him back when I had the means to, and to really honestly just to not feel that way. And you know what's funny? Ari's like, bro, I didn't even think of it that way. I didn't even think of it that way, man. Like, I didn't even think of it, but it says a lot, but thank you for doing that.
Nowadays, the whole meta is now, before it used to be like, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and sell you a service and stuff and make you money and everything like that. But now it's really bad because it's getting to the point where people are leveraging your personal beliefs where like now, bro, I've been seeing ads where people are like, oh, buy this. You even sent it to me. This halal drop shipping
Bro.
store or something like that. They're pulling on your strings.
Christian closers.
Christian closers, like they're pulling on your strings just so you could trust them, right? So now if you're starting to basically supersede like you as a human being, now you have to latch onto things that are
Like
outside
identity,
of that.
you know?
Your identity outside of that, it's turning into a huge problem.
Yeah,
right?
I've noticed that as well. And I remember, I think this is the dilemma I started having when I was telling you some of the content we're posting when we're just like, yo, let's just throw shit to the wall. Is I'm like, you know, there's just girls now just saying, oh, make 10K a month, go on Canva, this, that, DM me. And I'm like, fuck, bro. It's like, the landscape has changed a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that trust factor, bro, is like, I remember back in the days I used to say, man, if you just get scammed out of course, like, come on, bro. Like, and I still believe that in a way.
Yeah.
I still do believe that, but I do understand as well because
it's hard now.
It's
very
hard. It's hard.
because,
It's definitely hard, man.
What people will do is it's very easy to play a fit,
Oh,
play a part,
Come on now.
and you would never know until you obviously.
Yo, we've
get to
met
work
some of
with
these
them.
people in real life, bro. I've met some of these guys in real life that don't know a percentage of what they sell, bro. Like
Yeah.
guys that sell like, I don't even get specifics, bro, because
Yeah.
the motherfuckers gonna like start connecting dots. But like guys in a certain industry that wouldn't even be able to define a term in the industry. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like
absolutely.
it is very, very sad to see. But that's why, you know, you got to stick with the real and make sure that, you know, again, like sometimes I'm just like, yo, why don't you just like do a little bit of research and see like if there's actually people talking about them, they
Right.
have results and shit like that too. But easier said than done, anyways. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I want to end off with, right? Because we spoke about a lot of topics that aren't honestly outside of business, but coincide with business so much.
100%.
But realistically,
Yeah, we didn't talk strategies today. We kind of talked about other things that you said, right? That it does
Which-
relate back to business. Sorry,
absolutely.
continue.
But the whole thing, the reason that we wanted to preface all this, or for me anyways, right? The whole reason I want to put so much focus on that is at the end of the day, you're gonna be 30, 40 years old, right? You're gonna make your money, right? Whether you make it all in one shot or whether you make it in a long period of time. Maybe you make $1 million a year for the next 30 years consistently with no increase or no decrease, right? Or you make $40 million on an exit in a single sale, right? But one thing that you need to know and have full conviction with is the amount of money you're going to make is destined. Like down to the dollar, you're going to make that. Whether you make it in the right way, by doing good business, making sure people are happy with their services, whether you sell products that actually work, whether you actually even ship those products, right? Doing that, or you go down the bad route and being negligent, just take people's money, scam, borderline just do wrong things, go into business models where you can't even go to your mom and dad and tell them, hey,
Tell them
mom,
what to
dad,
do.
this is what I do, right? Just know the amount of money you're going to make is destined. It's written. So much to the point where why worry, you know? Why stress? Why worry about these things, right? For me, my business does well over 6 figures per month profit, right? For him, he's in a very similar situation. All the people we work with are in similar situations, right? And we do good business. The reason we do good business is because we've seen people make $1 million off a crypto pull or some shit off of a crypto rug. And where are they now? They have no friends.
Yeah.
They have no people they can call homies.
Oh my God, bro.
Nothing,
I
right?
can give you like so many examples of guys that like, you know, again, chase money and now literally like they have no friendships, they have no relationship with their family. And actually, you know, other than crypto guys, man, and I'll also say is like, I think we kind of talked about this a lot in this and in overall thing of like not putting so much importance on money, you know, because I've also seen situations in families where, you know, like, again, man, like the family or the father or the mother, they neglected what was important to them, which was their being around their kids and making sure they're there for them. And now, you know, what they do after they do is they overcompensated by giving them things, thinking that it's going to help, where it actually
Trust
has,
fund babies.
yeah, it actually
Yeah.
has the inverse effect because now, you know, it's like these guys, they might not have a relationship with you, one. And second, like, it's like, yo, this money, you're teaching them to not value that, right? So you don't want to be this person that is just chasing, like, and I use that example to say, like, don't be that person in your own way, right? Don't be that person that was so busy chasing money that they lost what was the most important part, which is, like, you know, what matters to them. And I'm saying, like, again, like what Umar said, for us, it's family. For us, it's the people around us. For us, it's, like, you know, our community, all this, right? For you, find out what that's to you, but just, and stay aligned to that, right? Like Umar said, maybe some of you guys, you know, are looking at us and like laughing at us because you're like, you had a whole different experience when it came to family, right? That's fine. But find out what that is, like what your purpose is in that way and take the monetary things out of it, just understanding that money is a byproduct. Umar, the reason he makes money is because the value he brings to the market. It's not because he has this, that, whatever. It's because of the value he brings, right? Money is just a byproduct of the value. So I just wanted to just quick note on that. I know Umar probably wants to say something as well.
Almost every week, like we'll do a launch for one of our clients. Our business is in a really good state. Our clients, they'll in a single day, in 4 or 5 hours, 3 hours, sometimes even 30 minutes, they'll make, and it's crazy to even say this, they'll make what they used to make last year or the year before, the first year of business, in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, right? So
give us some numbers.
So for example, right, just last week, I could even send you the screenshot. We can prop it up,
Yeah,
or go on my Twitter, right?
Yeah, this is gonna be the intro.
A brand did over $130,000 in a single day, right? The reason that I'm giving that full credit to ourselves is because when we first started working with them, they weren't doing these launches, right? 6 months ago, they weren't doing these launches, right? We did $130,000 for them in a single day. Their profit margin on that was about 50%.
Wow.
Right? So you mean to tell me about close to $70,000 straight in their pocket, right? They're not gonna pay me 10 grand. They're not gonna pay me 10K a month. What's 10K a month if they're doing that twice per month, right?
Right.
What's the realistic value to them, right? For them to make that same 70K, they worked a year.
Right. Had to have staff,
they had to have staff, everything like that, right? So now this is what I mean. This is exactly what Splash means. The amount of money you make will be in proportion to the amount of value that you give to
100%.
someone, right? And if you're able to make them money, guess what? They're gonna pay you that money, right?
100%.
I live by these 4 things, right? Get good at a skill. First, learn a skill. Master that skill so much to the point where if anyone asks you a single specific thing, like if there was a book on that skill and they tell me about page 48 of that book, you can tell them what page 48 talks about, right? Get that good, right? Now offer that skill to someone and sell it to them, right? And don't charge a lot of money, right? Only charge a percentage of the uptick for them, because guess what? If you're able to help them,
it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer, right?
It's a no-brainer. That's how we started. That's actually how we started.
That's how everyone will start, right? And then once you get so good to a point, guess what? That percentage to that person will sort of almost be like a cancer, where they'll be like, yo, listen, chill. Listen,
I gotta play you a little less.
listen, I'm paying you a lot of money. So let's, because I really want to keep you on, because they're not going to get rid of you.
100%.
Let's switch over to a retainer. But guess what? The type of person you are, you're going to understand, all right, at least if I'm making this much, I can do that. And then it's just rinse and repeat.
It's rinse and repeat,
rinse and repeat. And so much to the point where don't do it yourself. Bring on other people. Bring on your family. Bring on your brothers. You brought on your sister, right? Bring on people that have no idea of this, because once again, it's your moral obligation to do this, right? And in a world where everyone wants to make a lot of fast money and quick money and everything like that, it's going to be very difficult for you to find people that actually want to do the work.
100%. 110%.
So just live by those things. If you're in a position where you're a complete novice, live by those things. If you're in a position where you already know these things and this is going in through one ear and out the other, stick through it. Get to the end. Just stick to one thing and get to the end, and I guarantee you it'll work out.
That's a perfect way to end it, man. Umar, thank you again. We didn't want to do this for so long. I'm glad we got to do it like the way we did it and at this time. I'm definitely going to bring him back. Again, today's video was just one of like the first ones, just kind of just introducing Umar to you guys, sharing his story. I know a lot of you guys probably want him back, maybe when we talk a little bit more strategies. So once we get the studio set up, we'll get him back on. But again, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you for everything that you've done. You made me very proud, bro. And and again, like I said, it's not, for me, I was able to build this community and I was able to get help from this community. I get so much help from Umar. I get so much help from Tarun, Brandon, all these people, man, that I was able to help in their journey, man. And it's come back to help me as much. And I couldn't be more grateful for, you and all the circle that we built. So, no, thank you again. And see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.